Louie Simmons is one of those people who has been in the fitness industry forever. He's a pioneer, absolutely. And so many things that you would have been doing in the gym if you've been training for a while would actually tie right back into Louie Simmons and what he brought to the world. So what he actually did was he started his own gym, which essentially is a powerlifting gym. It's called Westside Barbell and it's in Ohio in the United States. And within that gym, he basically just trains like super hardcore powerlifters. So we don't need to, as women, I guess, we don't need to take from him directly what he does because we're not doing things like bands and chains and lifting to our max potential and things like that. But he does bring to light some very fundamental philosophies that are important in training now, such as strengthening the posterior chain, how to load your nervous system correctly. So he uses a lot of methodologies that kind of overload the nervous system to prepare it for heavy weights, but also systems where they might back it off a little bit in order to not overload it. So they do a lot of fluctuations in their training methods, like they have speed days and strength days and max effort days and things like that. That doesn't really benefit you directly, but what does benefit you directly is the equipment that he's brought into the world that we as women can benefit absolutely from. So luckily with the gym I'm working in now, we have access to some of those pieces of equipment, or at least the newer versions of them. So I'll show you what they are and then I'll show you what they do. So this is just the safety squat bar. You kind of sit up on it and it puts the weight more forward of the body. That's obviously a Verve version of it because it's pretty mainstream now. But then we have a belt squat, so this is also Louie Simmons creation. So that's just like you can do squats, deadlifts, marching, all sorts of exercises, but you have the weight around your waist here with the belt. Then we have a glute ham raise. This is my favorite. So for every girl I ever train, I have the goal of helping her do one of these. So it's entirely glute and hamstring based and super difficult. So that's a glute ham raise. And then we have lastly a reverse hyper. So this is just a little pack away version. But you can see here the name. This is just a little mobile version, but there's a really big version you can do. Yeah, it just really helps to decompress and then strengthen up the lower back or erector spinae. These are just little things that Louie Simmons brought into the training world that you may not have realized. And he also brought about the box squat, which is exactly what I use to teach my clients how to barbell squat. So this piece of equipment that I'm going to show you is the glute hamstring raise or glute ham raise. So what it does is it really forces you to lock in through your abdominals and your posterior chain and actually just pull yourself up through just your hamstrings. So it's almost like a laying leg curl, but you're actually pulling your whole body up with your hamstrings rather than lying down supported. So this is my number one favorite thing to teach a woman to do. So when I first meet her, I think what I want to do is get her body to be ready to be able to do this exercise well. So they might not know it, but I get really excited when they can do it. So I'll show you what it looks like. So this one is a reverse hyper. So it's for overloading the erector spinae or like your lower back muscles, and it's just like a miniature version. So it's not so much of a dynamic movement as the original one he invented is, but this one is a little bit more controlled, but it uses the same muscles. So I'll show you what it does. So you're pretty much just squeezing your abs and you're just able to lift up through here and through your lower back. You can do it if you want. So very cool. So the stronger the lower back, then the more you're going to be able to handle heavy weights from your spine. So the stronger you're going to get. So we've got this safety squat bar. So what it does is just load the weight forward of the body, so it puts a little bit less strain on the upper back by holding it back. So instead you can just support it through the front. So this one really overloads your abdominals. It makes it a little bit more important for you to stabilize through here, and you can actually stay a little bit more upright. I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so see you're holding it supported here, and if I had weights on, they'd actually be in a different position than if they were on my back. And then lastly, we have the belt squat machine. So basically it just loads the weight up through your hips rather than your spine. So it's not so hard on the nervous system, and I guess you could say it's somewhere between like a leg press and a barbell squat. So I'll show you how that one works. So yeah, those are my favourite exercises brought about by Louie Simmons. We have that and the box squat. So I don't have a box here to show you. My box is at home in the garage.